Hi guys, it's Sandy. On my channel, I like to share healthy eating, healthy living, and just simple life tips like living on a budget. Well, this is one of those videos on how to eat healthy on a budget. So there might be times that you just don't have a lot of money to spend. These are really good meals. They're healthy. They have all the nutrition that you need to feed your family. They've got the fruits, the vegetables, the protein, the carbs, everything that you need. So these are balanced meals that are healthy, but you are going to be surprised how cheap you can eat whenever you need to, or just anytime actually, whenever you're just trying to save money, or you think, well, what am I even going to make tonight? These are basic meals that you can make anytime. My family likes all of these. So I'm sharing things that my family, the things I actually really make, not just recipes out of nowhere. So let me share these with you and share the recipes with you, and I think you're really going to like it. So here's a total of all the food that we're going to be making these meals from this week. It came to $25.92 for 4 healthy meals. I wrote them down because I also did some other shopping while I was at the grocery store, and my total on the register receipt did not reflect this amount because I had bought other things. But what I'm showing you this week is the 4 meals. Now look at some of these things though. This is a block of cheese, and this is a whole bag of oranges, and a whole stalk of celery, and a whole bag of carrots. So I'm not going to use all of those for meals. So you can make 4 healthy meals for $25 and still have plenty of food left over for other meals or for lunches of the week. This is just a really great way to shop economically, cook healthy, and save a lot of money. If you're on a tight budget, this is how you need to do it. The first meal are potatoes and sausage. This is a meal that my family really likes. It's very hearty. You're going to need potatoes, some chicken broth. I bought the beef smoked sausage, and I bought these chicken thighs for a different meal this week, but since I have 7 of them, then I'm going to use one of these in this meal also, just for more protein and more meat in there. And then 3 cans of green beans for my size family. Now, what I'm going to use is the Instant Pot. Listen, you guys can do this on a pot on the stove, or you can do it in a slow cooker, whatever you want to, but I'm using the Instant Pot for a quick meal. So I hit the saute button and put some oil in, and the first thing I'm going to do is saute an onion. If you don't like onions, then leave the onion out, but I just dice it up small and get the onion in there, start it cooking, and then open up the smoked sausage and get it diced up. And just to let you guys know, all of the recipes are in the description box below. Now you can slice yours just like this, but I like to cut it and then cut it in half, and that puts a whole lot of different pieces of sausage that you basically get a bite, a small bite in all of your bites whenever you're eating it. And then once you have this all cut up, we're just going to put it into the Instant Pot along with the onions that I already have sauteing in the Instant Pot. Next, I'm going to cut the 1 chicken thigh that I'm going to use, and I'm cutting it into bite-sized pieces also. That way you get more flavor with different bites while you're having your meal. And then I'm just going to add that to the Instant Pot also. And if you're doing this on a pot on the stove, do it in the exact same order you're doing this. Now I'm just moving around the onions and the meat, and it's kind of caramelized on the bottom. I'm kind of scraping the bottom to get that caramelization off. I let this saute for a few minutes to really get the flavor of the sausage out and to let the chicken cook. And in the meantime, then I'm just going to start slicing up the potatoes. Now you pick as many potatoes as you want. For my family of 4, I chose 8 potatoes. They're about a medium-sized potato, I would say. But I'm making enough that I have leftovers also for lunch the next day. So that's why I also have 3 cans of green beans instead of just 2 cans. But you do what your family will eat. Now just dice these up into diced pieces. I didn't realize that every time I cut the potato, I'm actually shaking the camera too. So sorry for that shakiness there. So this is the chicken broth I am using. It was $1.99 at Aldi, so I like the organic also, but you use whatever you can. You can make it, you can buy a different version of it that doesn't have to be organic, and we're going to put in 1.5 cups, and then you just need to scrape the bottom and get that the caramelization, like I said before, off of there from where the onions and the sausage has made all that flavor. You want to scrape it because there is a ton of flavor right there. After that, we're just going to put in our diced potatoes. Drain your cans of green beans and then add them right on top of everything. You can also use frozen green beans right here too. I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of Old Bay seasoning because we like that and we have it at home. You could use seasoning salt, you could use regular salt and pepper and garlic powder. Season it to your taste. You can always add more salt and pepper when it's done also. I would do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now for the Instant Pot, set it to manual for 3 minutes. I also just made up some homemade biscuits real quick because we like a little bit of bread with this meal. Now I let the Instant Pot naturally release for 6 minutes, and then I got the biscuits out of the oven. Look at this. This is delicious. It has tons of flavor with it, and it's just a really hearty meal for very little money. Or if you're just like, what can I make for dinner tonight? I need something fast. This is it. Meal number 2 is a salsa chicken. Again, I'm going to use the Instant Pot because I needed to make this meal quickly again, but you could make it in the slow cooker or you could do the stovetop again. So I took 6 of those chicken thighs that I still had left, put them in the Instant Pot. Usually you would add 1 cup of water whenever you are making anything in the Instant Pot, but I'm going to add 2 cups this time because I'm going to make chicken broth and use that broth later in the week for another meal. My chicken is already thawed out, so I'm just going to hit the manual button and cook this for 7 minutes. And in the meantime, these are the seasonings that we're going to put in. The salsa, salt, pepper, cumin, and chili powder. Or if you didn't want to use these, you could use a taco seasoning packet. I actually make my own taco seasoning because it's super easy and all the ingredients are already in my pantry. So I'm going to use the taco seasoning that I have. But you can buy a packet or you can use the ingredients I just showed you. Now, this is what I meant about making the chicken broth. I just put in an extra cup of water. You can do the same in a slow cooker. I will just put this in the refrigerator and have it for other meals later in the week. I took the chicken, shredded it up, and then just put it back into the Instant Pot. On the Instant Pot, hit saute. On the stovetop, if you're doing this, just put it on low. This is time to put in the seasonings and then just let everything heat together and just get the flavors all together. So it's just plain chicken. I'm going to add probably 1/2 cup of salsa. Mine is medium flavor. And then 2 tablespoons of taco seasoning, or just use a packet. Make it easy on yourself. Then you're just going to mix this together and let it cook just a little bit to get the flavors into it. And it's ready to serve. You could put more salsa in if you feel like it needs more. I don't like mine too wet where it breaks my shells when I put it on there. Now we're ready to put our tacos together. We're going to use the whole wheat shells, lettuce, salsa, and some cheese. Now this is personal preference, but I like to buy the block cheese and just grate it myself. Then it doesn't have all the anti-caking ingredients that shredded cheese has into it. And then you're just going to assemble your tacos. I'm doing soft shells is what I'm doing, and cheese, lettuce, and salsa. Remember, this is meals on a budget, so if you have avocados and that kind of thing, you can get it, but this is a great meal for very little money again. There's only 1 taco here, but I usually eat like 2 or 3 at a time, and that's it. Very easy, very good, and very inexpensive to feed your family this meal. If you guys will hit that like button below and comment, let me know what kind of meals you like to make on a budget. Also, if you like these kind of recipes, I have a bunch more to share because I've been cooking like this for a long time. Just let me know and I'll make more videos like this.
Our third budget meal is chicken noodle soup, just a hearty meal. I did have some chicken breast already in my freezer, so I actually pulled those out and I'm just going to use one. So $4.86 is what they both came to. I'm using one of them for this meal. And then you're just going to need to slice up carrots and celery and onions. Again, if you do not like onions or your family does not like onions, you can omit that, but onion gives a lot of flavor to a meal. So whether you are doing this on a pot on the stovetop or if you're doing it in the Instant Pot, you need to saute your vegetables. So I'm just putting some oil into the pot, getting that hot, and in the meantime, cutting up my onion, my carrots, and my celery into small pieces so that they're bite-sized for the soup. And after we get all of the vegetables cut up, just put them into the pot. It already has the oil hot in there by now. So we're just going to saute those vegetables together and get all those flavors. This is the first flavor that is going into the soup. Now it's time to add a tablespoon of butter for more flavor, and this is where all the seasonings come in. The thyme, you're going to need parsley, you're going to need oregano, we're going to add salt and pepper to this, and all of these are going to give so much flavoring to the soup. So here's another layer of flavoring going in, and then just mix that all together while it's all sauteing. Now we need 4 cups of chicken broth. Now this is the same box of chicken broth that I used for the first meal, but this is where we use ingredients that we can use for multiple meals. So I bought this one box and I can use it for multiple meals now. So I'm adding in my 4 cups of chicken broth, and now it's time to add the raw chicken. So I'm going to use 1 chicken breast for this soup, and it's a pretty big chicken breast, but just cut it up into bite-sized pieces. Now just add the chicken to the Instant Pot, but you could also be doing this exact recipe on the stovetop just as easy. Now I'm going to add 4 cups of water to this. So we did 4 cups of broth and 4 cups of water. Now if you're using the Instant Pot and it's still on the saute mode, then you hit the off button and then you're going to hit manual. And we're going to cook this for 7 minutes because the chicken is just in small bite-sized pieces, so it's not going to take long to cook. Now I want to get the dishes cleaned up, and especially clean up this cutting board because I just have raw chicken on it. And then remember I showed you I had 2 chicken breasts in that package I took out of the freezer. I used one for the soup. The second one I just fried up with some seasonings on it, and I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for salads this week. I let the pressure naturally release on the Instant Pot, and all of the vegetables are cooked and all the seasoning in there. Now it's time to add the noodles. So I'm just adding a half a bag of noodles, so about 8 ounces of noodles. Noodles are always the last thing you add, or otherwise they become too mushy. So in the Instant Pot or the stovetop, you'll do this the same way. At the very end on the Instant Pot, I hit saute button, and I'm just going to cook the noodles, and everything is ready now to serve. This is delicious. It has tons of flavor, and again, it is very inexpensive to make this meal. Meal number 4 are eggs with homemade hash browns and fruit. So just getting a dozen of eggs. I got the fruit at the store, which we can eat for lunches and this dinner. Everybody will eat an orange. And then potatoes, again, I'm using the potatoes again. So it's really economical to buy a bag of potatoes and use them for several meals. Now for hash browns, this is the way that we do it. Just taking a grater and grating up as many potatoes as you want. I did 4 potatoes for 4 of us, so everybody has a potato. Now you can shred one potato at a time, or you can shred them all at once, but as they sit there, they will get discolored. Now to make them crispy, take a dish towel and then just press out the starch. This towel will gather the starch basically as I press it all in there, and the towel will get wet with the starch. But it makes a crispy hash brown this way. Now put a little bit of butter or oil in a pan and let it get hot, and then add your potatoes and get brown on each side, and then it's crispy and really good hash browns. So you can make whatever kind of eggs that you would like to. We're making fried eggs tonight, or we could do scrambled eggs. Some people wanted 2 eggs, some people wanted 3. There's 4 of us in our family. So everybody got 1 fruit, 1 potato, as many eggs as they wanted to. It's a very nutritious meal and very inexpensive yet again. So you can feed your family really well and not spend a ton of money.
Okay, you guys, that's all I have for now. Until next time, I'm out.